Felt a little bit sad after that Gilas Filipinas game. They lost to New Zealand by such a big margin. But I'll talk about that in another video. So, so let's talk about some trades before NBA free agency starts later this day. So Dejounte Murray is an Atlanta Hawk. That's crazy. Especially for the package that he was traded for. I think it was Danilo Gallinari and 3 picks and a pick swap. So at surface value, you would think that this is a fleece, that the Atlanta Hawks got a steal in Dejounte Murray. I mean, certainly they got the best player in the deal, of course. Danilo Gallinari hasn't been that impactful in at least a few years. Of course, Dejounte Murray is an all-star and... Alright, so let's talk about the Atlanta side of the deal first. So Dejounte Murray alongside Trae Young at the shooting guard position is amazing. First of all, Dejounte Murray is a great player by his own, but last year he averaged 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists, so he can definitely hold his own on both offense and defense. And not to mention, that's on pretty good efficiency. Well, not from 3, but I think that's okay. Trae Young should carry the load on offense when they team up next year. I think this will elevate Trae Young to an even higher level. Because he already doesn't care on defense. So having Dejounte Murray there basically makes Trae Young focus all of his energy on offense, and Dejounte Murray could possibly be the defensive linchpin for Atlanta. And getting Dejounte Murray without giving up people like Kevin Huerter or DeAndre Hunter, or I don't think that DeAndre Hunter would have gone anywhere anyways. And without giving up John Collins is a big plus for Atlanta. They could be pushing at least a top 6 seed in the East next year because of this trade. This now makes them a very good defensive team. Or maybe not a very good defensive team, just a lot better than what it was before, because they were 25th, yeah. They were 25th in defensive rating this season. That's horrible. And that's mostly because of Trae Young. So having Dejounte Murray, a defensive guard, that's amazing. So how about the Spurs? What does this deal mean for them? Well, it looks like they're going for a tanking season. I don't know. Maybe. If they get Zach LaVine then in free agency, then that changes a lot of things. But it does look like they're going for a tanking season. So it's all in on Victor Wembanyama, who is so great. I think it was 7'3" or 7, but he looks 7'5". He's amazing out of France. He looks like a generational talent. So in terms of the picks that they're getting, 3 future first round picks from 3 from Atlanta, their own. Two of those are unprotected. Unprotected, and 1 is a pick swap. The most valuable of those picks in the trade is the Charlotte pick for next year. 2023 first from Charlotte. Because if Charlotte doesn't retain Miles Bridges, then that significantly weakens their team. To the point where I think they could be a lottery team. Which is very valuable. Especially for the Spurs who are rebuilding. So Miles Bridges just got arrested on domestic violence charges yesterday. So, first and foremost, we don't condone that. And second of all, I think that's him out of Charlotte. And why would the Spurs trade Dejounte Murray? It's because he doesn't fit their timeline. And that timeline is the most promising young player on the Spurs right now is Calvin Johnson. Okay, he's 22, but they have not gotten many future assets on the team right now. So the notable ones are Josh Primo, who's been killing the G League, and their new draftee Jeremy Sochan from Baylor. If scout reports are judging him correctly, is very positive on defense. Getting Danilo Gallinari's contract, which is an expiring next year, means that they could also get a free agent, considering that they have a lot of cap space in this year's free agency and in next year's. So moving on with the other trades that happened in the past few days, we have the Denver Nuggets trading Will Barton and Monte Morris for KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Ishmet, I guess. This is a bit of a sideways move. I don't really know their thinking here. It's a shuffling of cards, maybe. But I guess Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is a little bit younger. He's 29. But Monte Morris has been very good over the past season, especially with Jamal Murray being out for the Denver Nuggets. But this does make salary cap a little bit cheaper, and I don't think Ishmet will be playing for them. He could get released, he could get traded again. But the Nuggets could go for a Rubio, or in terms of point guards on the open market, we have Rubio, we have Dennis Schroeder, we have Tyus Jones, Patty Mills. So there's a lot of options there. On the Wizards side of things, I think they got two pretty serviceable players who should help them in their never-ending quest to make the play-in or the edge of the playoffs. NBA purgatory, as they say. Since Bradley Beal is coming back, most likely these two players should help the team in reaching that goal. So how about the New York Knicks trading Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks and a few picks to the Detroit Pistons, which is a salary dump trade, which now means that they have at least 30 million in cap space for this season, at least. So even more maybe. I don't really know the cap specifics on that. I know that the salary cap has risen, so maybe even closer to 40 or 50 million. And who will New York get with that cap space? A lot of rumors are pointing to Jalen Brunson, which I don't really like. This is mostly because Jalen Brunson's dad, Rick Brunson, works for the Knicks. Yeah, I think I'm right in saying that. Sure, Jalen Brunson had a very good season of 16 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, alongside Luka as a secondary ball handler. But I don't think he moves the needle for New York, and I don't think it will satisfy the fan base too much. Jalen Brunson, I think he'll take the money if the Knicks offer that, upward of 20 plus million for him. But I think maybe they could use that. Maybe they could use that money to throw it all in on Zach LaVine. But I don't think there's much interest there. Colin Sexton. And maybe next year they can get someone else, because I don't think that this year's free agency class is that strong. I mean, the biggest players here are James Harden and Bradley Beal very likely going to go back with their old teams. So there isn't really that top star that's in free agency right now. Everyone is mostly through trade, which I don't think the Knicks are exploring right now because they don't have the correct assets to do a big superstar trade. So I don't know what happens here. We'll see. Hopefully, free agency surprises us with something or a trade or something.